To the cloud. All right, here we go. So good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, October 30th, and we are continuing our journey through the spreadsheet/Excel textbook. And as I promised you, we're going to be using Excel for a lot of not pseudocode, but similar to programming functions and programming functions. And we're going to be using two devices that are available to us through the developer tab. One is programming with macros, and one is programming using Visual Basic for applications. But before we can get to that point, we need to cover all of the basics. So we had a homework due for chapters 1 and 2. That was due on Friday, October 27th. So just last Friday, I had received about 6 homework out of 15, and then I see over the weekend I've received another 2 or 3. So if you haven't submitted that, please do. The other thing with computer science 1010 students, not ES 1060 students, but just with the COSC 1010 students, there's a little bit extra. We're going to get a little bit ahead on the Visual Basic or VBA developer functions. So I asked to make sure that you had been able to add the developer tab to your Excel program, and then just send me a screenshot of that. So now
I have a question about the developer tab. I made a comment about it saying that my Excel program wouldn't allow me to change my settings, but I did describe how you would change it.
Okay, yeah, and I appreciate that, Michaela. I need to have you actually do it. So we might have to go to computer services because we're going to be using it in the very near future. So I just wanted to make sure that, so if we have a problem with changing it, we need to make sure that we fix that problem, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. So are you going to be in lab? You don't have to, I mean, but no, I'm not going to phrase it that way. I'm going to say, should you be in lab this afternoon? We can fix it then. Or if not, just set an appointment with me on Calendly this week and we'll get you squared away. How does that sound?
Yeah, I'll be in lab today.
Good. Yeah, I usually see you there. So I kind of thought so, but then I thought, well, it sounds a little aggressive to say, well, if you're in lab this afternoon, because this is a hybrid class and it is your choice whether you want to be there face to face or not. So, but if you're there, we'll get it all squared away so that you'll have that done. The other thing about the homework submission is I had a couple of people their spreadsheets in something other than a spreadsheet. So in other words, submitted in PDF form or something like that. I can't do anything with that. I mean, I cannot stress to you how important it is that I have to receive those spreadsheets in XLS or XLSX format, because that's how I grade them. I can see the numbers in the cells, but that is the tip of the iceberg. I need to look at your formulas within the cells, and I can't do that unless you send it to me as an active Excel spreadsheet. So if you did send it to me as an other form, I made notes that I wanted you to send it to me as an XLS spreadsheet. And when you do that, I'll give you back full credit for your work. All right, so today what we're doing is we've talked about chapter 3 and we talked about chapter 4. But in chapter 4, when you take a look at the homework, you'll notice that chapter 3, you'll be doing all of the exercises, but chapter 4, the problems are quite lengthy, and a lot of them are somewhat repetitive. So I've asked you, let me see, I think this doesn't share the screen properly, so I want to go ahead and do this. So what I've asked you to do in that homework tab is to just do the even. Oh, everyone okay? If you've got your mic on, please mute it right now. So anyway, so we have so you're just going to be doing 4.2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, and you can skip the odd numbered problems in chapter 4. In chapter 3, do all of them. It's just about editing and learning how to do those functions. So today in lab, we will have the opportunity to, if you're not finished, you'll have the opportunity to finish chapters 1 and 2, which is really just the exercises from chapter 2. And then we will begin and work through chapters 3 and 4. And then on Wednesday, which will be November 1st, if you can believe it, we'll finish up. And the homework is due on, let's do it this way, Friday, which would be November 3rd. The homework is due. All right. And so then after we get done, we've covered the if structures that we talk about in chapter 4 are sort of the beginning of looking at the enhanced features of Excel. And then we're going to look at graphing and macros. And macros is really like the intersection between using Excel as a traditional spreadsheet and using it as a programming environment. So and macros actually are extraordinarily powerful. As I told you, we're going to look at the Visual Basic, which is a structured programming language within well, it's actually within all of the programs within the Microsoft Office suite. So oddly enough, you can use Visual Basic in Word and PowerPoint as well. However, Excel is really where it shines. So we'll be using the macros, and then after that, we'll start working with Visual Basic as a programming language. I'm holding out about a 5 to 10% hope that we'll be able to use Python. I've been working with computer services, and Python is possibly available to use as a programming environment within Excel, but we don't have it available to us yet. So I'm sort of hoping that we'll be able to do that, but my focus is on Visual Basic. And Visual Basic is kind of an old school language, but it's not difficult. It's not machine-based. It's still object-oriented. So if you can program in Python, you'll find Visual Basic to be a little remedial, but it still can do a lot of the same things. So that's where we're going with class. So anyway, if you take a look at our schedule, then you'll see, like I said, this afternoon, we'll just work through our stuff. And then on Wednesday, we'll finish up our stuff, and your homework is due on Friday. So probably on Wednesday, I'll start talking a little bit about graphing, which is chapter 5. So I'll be posting chapter 5 and then working through chapter 5, so beginning on Monday. Now, a couple of things I want to note. I've hidden Excel chapter 1 just because I can't keep everything of the book up. If you need to see that, come see me, and I'll give you a copy. I'll give you my copy of the book. If you begin this and you need to have chapter 1. After Wednesday of this week, I'll be taking down chapter 2 as well. So if you need to make arrangements for yourself to have a copy of that, please do. But I'll only be keeping up 2 or 3 chapters of the textbook at a time so that we can sort of move through the material. So this week, we just have this. I'll have a lecture posted here. Next week, do not forget, November 7th, Tuesday, we don't have a class that day, but that's advising day. So if you are my advisee, I've got the Calendly program set up so that I have a lot of slots open. The schedule for the spring is already available to us. And so if you want to take a look at that, or if you want to visit with me Monday the 6th, I have some slots open then, but we can't really register you until Tuesday the 7th. So, but make sure that you work with your advisor. They're also doing a drop-in advising center over in the Moyer building in Moyer building 108. So I have not signed up for being in that room, but I might. It just depends on what my schedule looks like this week. So, but if you need an appointment, please go to Calendly and schedule a half hour with me. And then of course we can do it by Zoom, or we can do it face-to-face. So next week, we don't have anything up, but like I said, we'll be going through chapter 5 and we'll start working with macros. The next week, and I'll update this when I'm certain, I will probably be off campus the 13th, 14th, and 15th. If that is the case, I will put it up on Moodle, and I'll also send you an email so you know. And as always, we won't be canceling class. We'll just do it by Zoom, and everything will be available to you synchronously and asynchronously on those days. All right. And then, of course, the week after that is Thanksgiving. So by this time, we should, let me just take a look at something here. By that time, we should be able to, we should be able to be almost all the way through the material. And then when we come back from Thanksgiving break, we'll have a couple of weeks and get ready for the final exam, which the final will be just programming using macros, Visual Basic, and all the skills that we've learned in Excel, right? So at this point, first of all, kudos to you for being here on Zoom. The ones who I have a few students here in person today, and they are hardy souls, but it's a cold day, and I think staying home, if that possibility is available to you, is a good idea. So so good for you. Anyway, do you guys have any questions for me about the process? What's going to happen for the next couple of weeks? What we're going to do this afternoon? Any questions about the homework? If you don't want to share anything, if you want to talk to me privately, please set up an appointment on Calendly, or I should be here almost all day today because I have a meeting with my boss at 4, so I probably won't be going anywhere. Might as well just stay here rather than go do something else. So that's a joke, by the way. I'm always here, so it's my job. So, but if should you wish to come see me, please do. But if you want to set an appointment, make sure I'm there. Just set up an appointment on Zoom or on Calendly, and we can either Zoom or meet face to face. Any questions from my Zoomers?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Humai. So the rest of you here in person, thank you for being here. Like I said, you are hardy souls. I'm glad to see you. And I will be available should you need me in my office. And have a wonderful day. And we'll see you this afternoon at 2 for our lab.